Get all this ice, chaps. I'm back on ice.
Okay. Are you recording?
Yes.
You're not
Kate's
gonna
back
stop
on
me
ice.
from. You're not gonna stop me from having
That
ice.
was an unbelievable stunt. My
Take
God.
that, ISIS.
Look at me.
I mean,
Look at me
that
with
is
my
a lot of
ice.
ice in there.
It's a big
Fucking
cup.
A.
Wow.
Move to Jersey, rich.
Stunting on him.
Little
You must be in
Ice.
with the mob.
liquid
Seriously.
diamonds.
He
as
must be
we
a
call
made
it.
woman.
Might be.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's the Friday edition here on Zero Block 30, and today we have 5 rounds in the magazine. Round number 1. On the last episode, I said we'd be totally avoiding this topic today, but Kate sucks and has a quick, light, flaky, buttery, syrupy, tasty little update on the latest in D.C. regarding the troops that are all splayed out in the Capitol. Round number 2, burn pits move aside. Today we have facts about your armpits and sweat glands, since we covered buttholes and nipples a couple episodes ago. Captain Cons, this is going to be your time to shine. Round number 3, cue the Bertie Higgins yacht rock, because that's not what we need a palate cleanser from a sad topic. The Coast Guard recovered a stolen Tiki Hut Bar Boat.
I'm going to make you try that again.
Okay. Round 3, cue the Bertie Higgins yacht rock, but not because we need a palate cleanser from a sad topic. The Coast Guard recovered a stolen Tiki Hut Bar Boat, and this thing is a beaut. Round number 4, Cons chatted with WWE Superstar Montez Ford about realizing his lifelong dream of being a pro wrestler, but not before he stood on the famed yellow footprints of Parris Island, South Carolina. Round number 5, safety brief. Don't go injecting magic mushrooms directly into your veins this weekend, fellas. A man in Nebraska found out the hard way when the old shroom started growing in his veins, and it nearly killed him. And all that is going to be brought to you by our good friends at 3Chi. If you haven't tried 3Chi, get your ass on the internet. Sign up now by going to 3chi.com. Enter the promo code ZBT2021. You're going to receive 5% off, which is a good deal. You must be 21 to purchase. And CBD is psychoactive, and it'll give you a buzz. You got to use it responsibly. Don't be driving if you do it or anything like that. But it's incredible. It's a great product that helps me sleep. It's helped my mom sleep. It's a federally legal version of THC. It's called Delta 9, and they're the first ones to use it. Or Delta 8, excuse me. Make sure you go to 3chi.com, enter the promo code ZBT2021, and you're going to receive 5% off. Let's get started with the show.
All right, round number 1. I know in the last episode, Chap said, don't worry, we're not doing politics on Friday. We're going to avoid it because it's been an oversaturated thing. It's all anyone can think about and talk about. But it's a quick checklist update of what's going down in Washington, D.C., our capital town. We got a whole bunch of troops just running around, but we're going to keep it light and fun. Hey, fellow cool teens, here's the latest on the who, what, when, where, and why from Washington, D.C.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, what's
was that?
number one? What tune was that set to?
I made it up myself. Thanks
Okay.
very much.
What just happened here? Did we just turn into Nick Jr.?
Yeah,
No, we're Schoolhouse Rock.
that was
that's a
Schoolhouse
throwback.
Rock. It was
That's
just
a throwback
supposed to
for
be,
the oldies.
it was letting everybody know we're about to have a good time. Okay,
Okay, that was a good time jingle.
we're talking about DC and all this heavy stuff, but we're keeping it light. We're keeping it fun. It was a cool tune for all the cool kids listening out there. Let them know this is going to be a cool update.
Should we try that all again all together?
No, I think we got to stick with it. I think Kate. I like the fact that Kate's bringing in her inner Casey Kasem to the insurrection.
Schoolhouse
Up
Rock,
next.
Casey Kasem. Is anybody under the age of 30 going to get those references?
No,
You
but
know,
fuck him.
Yeah.
I heard Casey Kasem was a dickhead. Is he still alive?
No,
Good
I think
question.
he's dead.
Is he
Hmm.
dead?
I think so. Let's look it up. Keep going, Kate.
Okay. All right. Well, while he's looking up if Casey Kasem is dead or not, local and federal security officials expect about
Oh,
20.
breaking news.
Oh,
News.
uh-oh.
Casey Kasem died sadly on June
Oh.
15th in 2014.
Ooh. R.I.P.
Okay.
in peace.
Been a while.
Yeah, his grave totally up for Robin. by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
enough with that.
he's probably got at least 2 good
so
rings.
many good things in there.
Yeah, a top 40, you would say, of
The
delicious
top 40
items
things you can find in Casey Kasem's coffin.
Anyway,
Casey Kasem walked so Ryan Seacrest could run.
And if you're a long
really
way,
did.
you can have a long distance dedication and go on over to his gravesite.
Absolutely, chaps. I think anyone would agree. About 20,000 National Guard members are expected to be in D.C. for President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration next week. The exact number is still being worked out by the Secret Service. I did not know they are the lead on the whole inauguration. I guess I should have figured it's not that crazy of a connect. According to Whoa, the Secret Service does that. Wow.
What?
According to representatives,
the breaking news music again.
Yeah. Whoa. According to Representative Seth Moulton, former ZBT guest, there's already more troops in D.C. than Afghanistan, which is sort of startling to hear. The troops will be coming from nearly all states, and only those who have military, police, or law enforcement experience will be armed. So there'll be a ton of troops there, but not all of them will be MPs. Not all of them will be armed. Others will have access to their weapons, but not carry them, which is just,
where do we think the arms room is? In like a truck outside, or
those little TP stacks that they do at Parris Island, where you gotta
remains arms, TP stacks.
TP, oh yeah, 2 little TPs. Go get your little
Look
TP
at those
stacks.
little nifty TPs. They're so cute.
When I first saw those, when I was walking around Parris Island, like just bebopping around, doing my own thing before I started boot camp, I was like, that's weird that they do that with the weapons and make it does look like a teepee.
It does look like a little teepee. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So again, only the MPs are going to have them readily available, but I just had a brain fart.
Work through it. Only the MPs are gonna have it.
Only MPs, yeah. Okay. Only MPs, like I said, are going to have their rifles. The rest are going to be stored away somewhere. Who knows? Presidential inaugurations always have massive security operations, but Biden's on January 20th will obviously have heightened security concerns following last week's breach on the U.S. Capitol that left 5 people dead, including a Capitol police officer. Those security moves come as the House of Representatives voted Wednesday to impeach Trump for the second time. The resolution charged him with incitement of insurrection. I will never Google what insurrection means. I refuse.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's your choice.
Yeah. National Guard troops are already patrolling the hallways of Congress, some carrying military assault rifles. And this is where it gets light and goofy and fun, gang. The part where they're carrying assault rifles around the hill. It's because the public perception and the response has been so ridiculous online. There's incredible photos coming out. I mean, there's just huge clumps of troops napping all over the beautiful marble floors of the Capitol building.
One would say they're not exactly patrolling right now.
Yeah, they're not out there doing like armed patrols or anything like that. But somebody calls those clumps of troops yesterday. I saw somebody refer to it as a cuddle puddle, and I love that.
Cuddle. There's a lot of cuddle puddles. And I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of cuddle puddles just everywhere inside our Capitol building.
It's like the 70s, 60s.
Some fun things that I've seen. Lethality Jane on Twitter, she posted a photo. People were joking about, there's going to be monster cans left all over the Capitol. Well, there's a bust statue of George Washington, and indeed somebody has rested a little energy drink can already on the statue right next to him. I
need to hear the first sergeant that comes out and is like, who the fuck is defiling the statue of George goddamn Washington?
But I liked her take. She said George was a troop. He would have understood. He would have gotten it. Totally.
Fair point.
If George was alive now, he'd definitely be a Rippets guy.
But he was an officer, so probably not a monster guy. He might be a Rippets guy.
He'd be doing Rippets on deployment.
For sure.
Some hilarious person said, mark my words, we're about to witness an unprecedented 88% rise in bathroom stall dick drawings. And we're talking veins and pubes included in the Capitol building. With all these troops going to be, if you don't take the opportunity, if you're one of these troops, to take a marker and leave your mark real small somewhere. And that Kyle's shaking his head no.
I said that in the cuddle puddle, somebody's definitely going to jerk off.
Somebody's
Oh.
somebody already has. Someone has jerked off in the Capitol building. A troop has jerked off in there.
If you
Within the
stay
first
overnight in the rotunda and you don't, missed opportunity.
Huge missed opportunity. I couldn't agree more. Find
This
a
is-
stall.
Need to hear those poncho liners just a rustling.
Yep, absolutely. You're right. When else are you going to get to do it? There was a million comments about and even military.com did a definitive ranking of troops' extreme napping positions. There was troops.
I'm sorry. Did you guys see what number 1 was?
No.
It was some dude sitting up against the wall, and I totally disagree with that. There's no shot that was the best position of all the places you could have been sleeping. Sitting up is not a great position to sleep.
I think the best one I saw inside the Capitol was a troop they were on their back, but their butt cheeks were against a wall and their feet were up in the air. So, but you're right. These cuddle puddles, a lot of good sleeping. Civilians were amazed at the troops sleeping on the ground. Can we at least get them cots? This is what we're doing for our troops, blah, 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 blah. No. And what they don't realize, the troops all have a place to stay. It's just that they have nothing to do. They've been told to hurry up and wait, and now they're just stuck in clumps.
They're on shift. Some of them are outside watching, and then they'll come back inside and they switch over during the day.
And during the day, if you're not on duty, there's literally nothing for them to be doing right now. So what else are they going to do besides, again, just sit in clumps? That Nick Palmisciano, I just butchered his name, from Ranger Up, he said, he did this tweet: war for 20 years, nothing. Troops sleeping on the floor of the Capitol. Holy shit, what kind of savage world are we living in? This is the first time I feel like people are really looking at our troops and paying attention to them after 20 years of war, like really looking and seeing like, oh my God, look at them all. Oh, they're so young. Oh, they're carrying guns. Oh, they're like, people are really seeing them in a civilian setting.
And it was a good time for all those vet bros out there to make sure that they were tweeting out their pictures like, yeah, this is what we do. Here's me in the middle of nowhere doing it too. I too have done this before.
And also a great time for
lest I missed an opportunity to tell you.
Kyle pointed out, with everyone posting these, like journalists posting photos, time for troops to be like, yeah, this is me with a gun, blah, blah, blah. And then time for like 80-year-old women named Karen to be like, here's the 4 service members in my family. People pointing out they're some way connected to the military. Representatives, because the troops are coming from all different states, the representatives from those states are seeking out their troops and visiting them. And Kyle, what's your thoughts on that?
Nobody gives a shit who you are or what you do or what part. They don't care. None of those troops know who the fuck you are. There's zero chance.
I think that we have to there's a threshold. If you're a congressperson with, let's say, less than 150,000 followers, the odds are that you are just a thing in your district. They don't care about you. They don't know about you at all. But I think it's different when you have like a Nancy Pelosi or an AOC would come by and it's somebody very notable so that they could say that they've met. I think that's a little different. But if it's just random Smuckatelli congressman from the middle of Idaho, no one cares.
But it looks to me like a lot of these reps are going to visit the troops for like a photo op.
$1 billion. Yeah. Oh gosh.
I don't give a fuck about those folks.
Look at me. I care about my National Guardsmen from the great state of Minnesota. Oh, yeah, of course.
What I do think would be impactful to me as a troop is if my representative came and there was no cameras, it was just them, and they really were just being genuine and mingling with us and just like whatever.
Or talk like a normal person. Like if they came over and they talked to you like a normal person and not like, I'm a congressperson addressing the troops. But if they walked out there, imagine how much you would respect somebody if you walked out there and you're a congressman, you walked up to like a platoon, you're like, this is fucked up, right? Can't believe we're doing this shit.
Yeah.
I think everybody would be like, oh, yeah.
Well, can we just do a PSA and say that stop standing at parade rest for these people? Like, they're not in your chain of command. They don't have any.
Oh, you're definitely going to get ate the fuck up by your command if you're not standing at parade rest for a congress.
I agree.
I know they're going to get in trouble.
This is terrible advice from Kyle. Keep it up. Keep doing the parade rest. When in doubt, whip it out. That's what I say.
I think Kyle's point too was that, they're all exhausted. They've come from wherever. They're stuck being bored on a fucking hard ass floor, whatever. they don't want to have to stand up and stand at parade rest while you schmooze them. They just want to be left alone. God damn it. One thing I thought was cool, Representatives Michael Waltz and Vicky Hartzler, they brought pizza to the troops and they were just handing it out. But
that's the move you need to do. Don't bend my ear.
Waltz is actually a troop. Like he serves.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then people are also pointing out, people are like, oh, where's Waltz's mask? He's handing, it's like, just let him hand out the fucking pizza, dude.
Also, that's true. Like, because the National Guard leadership came out and was like, look, we understand you guys want to come talk. Stop talking to my people without your fucking mask on.
Yeah, all the representatives, that's been a thing in the news. Representatives are mingling around the troops with no masks, all this stuff. When for the troops, it's very strict. They have to have them on.
And lead by example.
Journalist Igor Bobik said Representative Chris Smith stopped by to say hello to guardsmen from his state of New Jersey. I think he brought them little pork roll. He just handed, each one got a little pork roll slapped in their palm, just a raw little pork roll meat.
I wish he was like the magician doing that. Like, oh, well, check your
pulling
cargo
pork
pocket.
roll out of there.
What's that behind your ear?
Oh, shoot. Tasty.
Hey, what's that under your cover? Oh, it's Tilly and mac and cheese. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, hoagie. How did you do that?
Yeah, holy shit.
Extra horseradish, my favorite.
How did you know?
He said the overwhelming show of force at the Capitol was intended to hopefully have a chilling effect on anyone who seeks to do harm, saying the enormity of all the number of troops there is supposed to be a huge deterrent to people. And I think it works on civilians. If you read the comments online, you can tell who the civilians are because they're like, oh my God, we've never seen something
this is
like
horrifying.
This
and I'm like, look at these fat nasties.
Look at these cuddle puddles on the. But I mean, of course, I do. Like, this is
Did
what
you see the baby beluga whale that was in front of the formation when Nancy was out there?
Oh yeah.
God damn
Not
it,
good.
Chaps.
I'm sorry.
We have to
I don't know.
this.
I think that's his actual name. I think it was Sergeant First Class Beluga. I think that's who it was.
Here's a promise.
Christian name.
That is his Christian name, his government name. Listen, if you're in a uniform and you're a fat body, we're coming for you.
Yeah,
that's not acceptable.
National Guard.
I don't care.
I
don't care.
I
don't
care.
care.
National Guard, not National Gorge Yourself at Golden Corral.
Bingo. I don't want to see your fat body in that uniform.
Okay, moving on.
You're not giving anyone chills walking around like you need to be on remedial PT.
Moving on. All of these troops are under immense scrutiny. All the photos by civilians who are looking closely. And one of the things that was brought to attention was a National Guardsman was seen wearing a thin blue line patch near the Capitol. And that kind of went viral online. People saying, you're not supposed to be wearing, especially it's become a very divisive. You can say, oh, it's not divisive. It's become a very divisive symbol. I feel like I see that in your yard and I'm like, that's a certain kind of person. Like, not saying either way. I'm just saying it's the same with the people who are like, the hate has no home here.
The thin blue line folks and the firefighters that Kate's going after.
Volunteer fire. But it's the same if you have like a hate has no home here in your yard. I'm like, that's a certain kind of person.
Such animosity for first line defense.
Seriously.
Anyway, but it's a very light blue line. It's lighter than the normal blue line. And people were like, we don't know if that's really a thin blue line or if it's a joke flag representing the thin Baja Blast line, representing the hard workers of Taco Bell, who put their lives on the line every day, serving us delicious food, including the Baja Blast. So, I mean,
that felt like an ad, but it totally wasn't.
No,
it was not. Yeah, that could have been a smooth one.
You learn something new every day. I didn't know the thin Baja line was a thing.
So then people were zooming in on this flag patch on this soldier's clothes, on his vest, and they pinpointed the exact shade color, put it into this database, and then got back like what it could possibly, there's like 3 different kind of blue line flags this could represent. Here's the companies this could have come from. And they figured out that it is indeed a thin blue line United States flag 3D PVC Ranger eye patch set from it's crazy what people can do online.
I hate the people though, that you post a picture and then they zoom in and they say something to the effect of, oh God, look at that dust on your dresser. That's disgusting.
My two lately
examine everything. Yeah.
How dry my hands are, and then I never put my vacuum cleaner away. Those
are
the two
God
things
forbid.
people hone in on in my photos. Final question for me, because I'm looking at all these troops. They're expecting maybe around 20,000 or more to come into the Capitol. Before I got pregnant, really, really loved smoking cigarettes. Like, big fan. Okay. When we would go to DC to interview the representatives, one of my biggest problems was finding a place to smoke, because Capitol Hill, almost all of DC is smoke free. And I'd be like, guys, I'll be right back. And 20 minutes later, Chaps is calling me like, where the fuck are you? I'm like, I'm 4 miles away down by the metro. Like I had to, it's really hard. Where can these troops smoke? God damn it. Where is their smoke pit? Oh, I'm stressed out. Anyway, that led me to this fun little story. Okay.
Yep.
Back in 2015, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan had to move into
Boehner's office.
Representative John Boehner's office. And it says he left behind both a compelling political legacy and the malodorous remnants of his 2-pack-a-day habit. The air in the speaker's office was so noxious that fresh paint, new carpets were not enough. An ozone machine had to be brought in to fumigate the space. Congress was once synonymous with smoke-filled rooms. Members smoked in the House, the Senate chambers, committee rooms. They even received their own personal dip spit spittoons. Gallery visitors you could walk through the gallery ripping a heater. Swear to God,
that'd be so sick.
What a fucking life,
doing that
dude.
with like a little bit of a heavy low ball rambler that's heavy as shit, real crystal with a little scotch in it.
Oh, and DC, I mean, when those what do they call them? The lobbyists from the smokers were king.
Mm-hmm.
And you could smoke anywhere on the Hill. It was a delight. Now, I tried to find this. I tried to find the smoking area for these troops. The nearest designated smoking area I could find was in College Park, Maryland, many miles away.
Yeah, that's hoofing it. You gotta take a battle buddy with you if you go that far.
If you're a troop stuck down there in that building in a cuddle puddle. I'm going to say cuddle puddle a million times in the show.
I know. I love that.
All
phrase.
you want to do is get the fuck, especially if you're some crusty staff sergeant, you have your energy drink, you set it down next to George Washington's bust. All you want is a fucking cigarette. You can't. You literally cannot. They're
going to find a spot. They'll find a janitor's closet somewhere. They're not going to they'll improvise, adapt, and overcome that.
Hey, credit though to Speaker Boehner, because I'm pretty sure even though he smoked in his office, he probably wasn't supposed to, but he just didn't. He just didn't care. He just did it anyway. He's like, I'm not going to walk outside every time I'm going to rip a butt, so I'm just going to do it right here in my office.
You're the third most powerful person in government. You can get away with it.
Oh, I'd say so. He helped vote to ban smoking in bars and restaurants in DC, and then made sure that a couple bars and restaurants had secret smoking rooms for him in the back. So if that's not politics for you, my goodness, what is? Finally, final topic on this. A lot of times I feel like we find ourselves saying, please don't be a veteran. Please don't be a veteran. Please don't be a veteran when someone in the news does something really weird or awful. That QAnon shaman, probably one of the most viral guys from the whole insurrection or whatever, who was wearing the bear costume and the horns.
Like a Viking.
Turns out he was a Navy veteran who did 2 years in the Navy. I think he got kicked out or something.
Yeah, he got kicked out. I was reading about it. He got kicked out for refusing to get vaccinated.
Of course. And his sister was like, his tattoos are for all his fallen Marine brethren and stuff. None of that's true. He's just a giant shitbag. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, there are people who you find out they're a veteran and you feel a sense of pride. So big time shout out to the hero officer Eugene Goodman. I'm sure you've all seen a clip at this point, but he was the lone officer in the marble halls of the Capitol as the mob started coming through this one doorway, and all by himself. And he's a black man. And it was the rioters holding Confederate flags, weapons, and vows to reclaim a lost election. Probably not a great feeling to be standing there looking at that particular crowd. For 85 seconds, he held back dozens of rioters. And that gave people a chance in the Senate chambers and lawmakers and all these other people a chance to flee and secure doors and stuff like that. It turns out 101st Airborne Division deployed to Iraq for a year, combat infantryman badge. And people say that he is just being super humble about it, doesn't want to talk about it.
And they said they might build a statue of him too for inside the Capitol, which would be awesome.
Yeah, and he was quick thinking. He stood his ground for as long as he could, and it really did make a difference. So shout out to Eugene Goodman, 101st Airborne. I saw their official account tweeted out saying, Eugene, we see you. Good on you. Very cool. And that's my DC facts from what's happening in DC.
I have another one. I have one that I think is pretty funny. So old Rudy Giuliani, he was there the day that everything happened. And he said, famously now, he said that he wanted to have a trial by combat. Well, there was this, there's this law website that does like law related news, and they actually interviewed Giuliani, and he said, quote, I was referencing the kind of trial that took place for Tyrion in that very famous documentary about the fictitious medieval England, Giuliani told Samuels. When Tyrion, who is a very small man, is accused of murder, he didn't commit murder. He can't defend himself, and he hires a champion to defend him. I love the fact that Rudy Giuliani referred to Game of Thrones as a documentary.
Well, that's interesting.
Like,
Rudy,
you can
stop.
say he's a little person. He says, who is a very small man. He's just a very small man. That's all.
The old Game of Thrones defense, a classic lawyer move.
He's like, all I was saying, he didn't commit murder. He can't defend himself. He hires a champion. So Rudy is really saying that we should hire people to hire mercenaries. Is that what he's saying?
I mean, I don't know what Rudy's saying these days. It's really a shame.
And then the news came out also. Rudy Giuliani is the funniest thing going.
He's a gift that keeps giving.
Trump getting impeached for the second time yesterday and still being like, oh yeah, I don't care if you leak it. We're not paying Rudy. Paying for his services.
Those legal fees? Yeah.
And he made everybody in his organization agree. Nobody reimburses Rudy Giuliani without clearing it through me.
Oh my gosh.
Rudy.
Oh, Rudy. If you want some pants,
fuck yeah, I do.
Go to Bare Bottom Clothing. They're the go-to for the most versatile, comfortable, and wearable everyday clothing for guys. Everything Bare Bottom is made with premium, adventure-tested fabrics without the premium price. I got to be honest, I'm not going to read the rest of this. There's a lot of stuff going on with their fabrics and spandex. These things are comfortable as shit.
Yeah,
so I wore them yesterday. These should be marketed as good-looking pajama pants for fellas.
Yeah,
like, that's all it is.
I bought these pants eons ago, well before we were advertising with them on Zero Block 30 and with Barstool Sports, just because I came across them. I bought 3 pairs. I got one. You know when something's good when you get a pair and you're like, wow, and then you get it in 2 other colors because you just like them that much.
Pat put them on the other day in the podcast room with me. He's like, do you care if I just try them on real quick? And I was like, no, I don't care. Put him on, and he's a very tall, like string beanie kind of guy, and he was afraid he would look stupid in them. He was like, 1, these are the comfiest fucking pants ever, and 2, but they don't look like, they look like good ass, like you could wear them out on the town on a Friday night.
You're talking about Pat from Out and About.
Yeah,
Pat talking about your boyfriend was like, I don't know if I would tall.
I wouldn't call him tall and string bean. No.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Like, do you know what a string bean is?
Yeah, no, that's a thick ass string
more
bean.
like a snow pea.
Yeah, no. So Barstool Pat, very tall. Like, he looked, and so I was like, well, let me take a couple pictures of you in the pants to show you. And he was like, holy shit, these look really good. They do. They're like legit.
That, and they came with that. I got the pants, and I also got this lovely, it's almost like jacket type of flannel, thick. It feels so soft too. It's awesome. All right, so if you want to get it for yourself, including their flannels and things like that, make sure you go to barebottomclothing.com. Use the promo code 0. You're going to get free shipping. Free shipping, my friends, if you use that. That's BEAR, like the animal, bottomclothing.com. Use the promo code 0 to get free shipping on your first order. It is awesome. You're going to really enjoy it, just like you're going to enjoy round number 2. Well, we're going to do a little sweat gland goofing, folks. What do we got, Kate?
I'm going to toss this one over to our sweatiest member, Captain Cons, who is just like a human sponge that's been dunked in another gross sweat sponge, dunked in a bucket of sweat.
That was
a little overboard and kind of mean. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway.
But we can't call that guy a beluga whale.
No.
Fun sweat fact number 1. Everyone has between 2 and 5 million sweat glands spread across the body. That makes sense. That checks out.
That's a lot of glands.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Number 2, this particularly fits me. The fitter you are, the sooner you may start to sweat during exercise. Yes. This is because your body recognizes the need to cool off faster so you can work out longer. Story of my life.
Whoa. So it's like a pre-cooling.
Yeah. You guys wouldn't know what that's about.
No.
Fact number 3, Kate, women have more sweat glands than men, but men's sweat glands actually produce more sweat than women's. So step it up. 4, it's possible to sweat too much. This is good to know. Overactive sweat glands, also known as hyperhidrosis, can be caused by certain medications or medical conditions. Hyperhidrosis can be embarrassing to deal with and can even lead to dehydration. Quickly, what is the most embarrassing place to sweat from? And there's one right answer.
Your
pussy.
Gooch. Yeah, pussy.
Oh, I would have said your armpits, because that's so visible, especially depending on what you're wearing.
Oh no, your dick or asshole or pussy is definitely the answer.
Because you've seen the guys golfing and they have their khakis and then it's just the big butt crack just is wet. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not embarrassing, because I think if you're sweating to that degree, it's hot out and people just kind of understand it. People will start sweating in their pits and start showing for no reason, and then you start thinking about it, so you sweat more and it just gets worse and worse.
I like the guys that get sweat across their chest that looks like the Batman symbol or something fun or like a heart.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway.
That's what you like?
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
All right. Some people have salty sweat. If your sweat stings your eyes or stings if it trickles into a cut, tastes salty or leaves white streaks on your skin or clothes after exercising.
How many sweat facts we got? What are we doing here?
We've only just begun. There's 20.
Oh my God.
Damn.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
Fine, you can skip ahead to 8. These are the
All right.
fun ones. These are the fun ones.
Number 8, aside from humans, horses are the one of the few mammals that
They're one of the only animals that sweat.
thermoregulate by sweating.
Isn't that why dogs' feet smell like Frito-Lays? Because they sweat through their paws, right?
No, that's the only sweat glands on their bodies that they cool themselves by panting.
Ah, okay.
So that's how you can tell a dog is about to have a heat stroke. If he's panting and you put your hand in front of their nose and they don't close their mouth, then it's a good shot that they're getting close to overheating.
Oh,
so what do you do? What do you do? Get them
Stop whatever you're doing, move them to shade, and try to get them to calm down as fast as possible.
Call him a pussy.
Yeah, be like,
Tell
get
him
it
to keep
together,
working.
you little furry bitch.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Unless it's a lady dog, you don't call a lady dog a bitch.
No, you don't.
Isn't that actually the technical term for a female dog?
No, not in 2021.
Antiquated term, yeah.
All right.
That's like calling the vulva anything else besides the entire pussy, which the ditty indicates.
Thank you.
Okay. Hippos actually produce a red colored sweat, which acts as a antibiotic and, conveniently enough, sunscreen.
Whoa.
Cool.
So if you're feeling hot and sick, just go over and rub your hand on a hippo's butt, rub it in your face. You'll be
Exactly.
You'll be good to go.
Yeah, rubbing a hippo's butt. No way that ends poorly.
And then 10, you guys aren't going to like this last one. I'll tell you what.
There was an experiment done. Female participants judged the sweat of non-meat eating men to be more attractive than that of meat eaters.
Yeah, because nobody likes to smell meat sweats. That's
Meat sweats are very much a thing.
True. Anyway, that's sweat facts. I figure that we did nipple and butthole facts after the political talk the other day. We find some new body facts and we'll all be doctors. I want to say
Kate shot down my idea. She didn't like my idea about exploring different countries.
Well, so, I'll say I didn't like that idea either. I'll be on record as saying I didn't love that idea either.
But now we're doing armpit, nipple, and butthole facts.
Yeah.
What's next?
These stink too, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, I was thinking about doing general hole facts.
What?
There's a lot of holes on our body. There's a lot of holes.
Round number 3, the Coast Guard recovers a stolen Tiki Hut boat, which it is a beautiful boat too. If you look at it, if you see these pictures,
gorgeous.
It's an absolutely beautiful boat. But coasties are keeping things chill at the U.S. Coast Guard station in Key West, Florida, where they recently recovered a reportedly stolen Tiki Hut boat in the emerald waters of the Hawk Channel. Being stationed at the Florida Keys, if you're in the Coast Guard, man,
dream.
Some of the places that these coasties get to go it's like legit vacation spots.
Yeah.
And by the way, this comes to us from David Rosa of Task and Purpose. How relieved do you think he was to have a non-politics story and have this tiki boat fall in his lap?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet they fought over it. No, I'll take the Tiki boat story, please.
Yeah,
For the love of
anything
God.
but what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But the person aboard showed signs of being intoxicated and was taken into custody. I feel like any Tiki Hut bar boat that you have, automatically international waters.
I was going to say automatically assume the driver is drunk.
Well, both, but it's okay
Okay.
because international waters, like anything around a tiki boat should be fair game.
Wait, you can drunk drive a boat as long as you're in international waters?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want in international waters. They're international. They're lawless.
What?
Yeah, but Kate, what Chaps is failing to mention, where international waters start are very, very far off of a coast. So chances of you being on a Tiki Hut boat like this in international waters, slim to none.
Unless you're going from Florida weeks to getting my Tiki Hut boat out to international waters so I can get fucked up and drive it.
Let's have a party.
Yeah. All right. Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So the person was drunk on the boat. And what is the Tiki Hut boat, you ask? Well, it's exactly like it sounds. It's a floating Tiki Hut bar where guests can booze and schmooze while guiding along the warm Florida waters. The boats carry up to 6 guests and can accelerate up to 4 to 6 miles per hour, according to the boat. That's not very fast.
No.
4 to 6 miles an hour.
This thing just looks like a floating deck.
It's like a pontoon. It's like a little mini pontoon.
To describe it though, it's perfect. It's like a giant octagon with a beautiful wooden like teak deck and the perfect shade from the little tiki hut, and the bar goes all the way around. I would absolutely 110% black out on this within an hour.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Pig and Parrot down in Brielle, New Jersey. My buddy Mike, the owner, he bought a tiki or a pontoon boat and refitted it so it looks like one of these. And it was the greatest thing going this summer because obviously bars were compromised in terms of what you could do, but he had people going out every day on his old tiki boat there. A lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the rescue of the Tiki Hut is right up there with the Coast Guard's rescue of an inflatable unicorn last summer. If we recall, they were all swimming off a bigger Coast Guard ship. A shark came up and a brave coastie scared away the animal with rifle fire, saving the day and the inflatable unicorn. But this Tiki Hut boat, I've never been on a vacation where the water is clear.
Really?
I've never been anywhere tropical before. And it just looks to me like a fucking dream. I want that. I want to be rich one day with my pontoon boat on the left side of the dock and my Tiki Hut boat on the right side of the dock. I've been in a lake in Indiana once where somebody put a motor on a picnic table that went across the lake, but it's not the same.
That's a lot of bragging. I mean, first you start off the episode by saying you have a cup full of ice. You also are an Amazon Prime member, and now you've been to a lake in Indiana.
Yep, I don't like to brag, but
Kate, you're making our listeners uncomfortable. I'll say it.
Everything's coming up, Kate.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, let's move on to round number 4. I am very jealous of Coast Guard members, though, for real.
Same.
Like, of the places that they could go, so much better than where we went. Mistakes.
Even New York City, I knew a guy who's a reservist here, and he's like, yeah, once a month we just take a little boat out around Manhattan. And it's fucking beautiful. It's really cool to do. So it's like, well, that's fucking sweet, dude. Anyway.
What else is sweet is Connor's interview with Chaps. Connor's interview with Montez Ford, who you can see doing a little bit of WrestleMania this weekend. Or no, not this weekend. When was the WrestleMania?
January 31st, the WWE has a Royal Rumble, so you can catch him at 7 p.m. Eastern on the WWE Network if you're so inclined to watch Montez Ford and the rest of the WWE superstars at the Royal Rumble.
I think Royal Rumble, if you're not a wrestling person, is the one to get into, because then you just have like 40 people running into the ring and trying to throw each other over the top. Anybody can enjoy that. That's good for the whole family.
Absolutely. Yeah, but Montez was awesome guy. And here's that interview right now. All right, now on Zero Blog 30, we have WWE Superstar Montez Ford. Montez, welcome to Zero Blog 30.
Thank you for having me. How you doing? How's everything? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year to you as well. I am doing well. You were just telling me things are busy in your household right now.
Yes. The kids are on virtual school. So like every morning we got a routine, wake them up, get them some cereal, get them some breakfast. So they got a little energy to be in front of those those iPads for about 6 or 7 hours. So Gets a little rough for them. Yeah.
That's brutal. I mean, just to stare at a screen for 6 hours is brutal. So credit to you with your children on that.
Try to keep them entertained and everything, you know. So
Right.
also between my son's room, my daughter's room. So see if they they doing a test, or if they doing like some type of assignment, if they doing something, it's like, good job, and run back down the hallway and get the other one. So gets my little, these little hips moving a little bit, so
keeps you active in the house. So Montez, so often when I was a platoon leader, I would have guys in my platoon say, something to the effect of, I was gonna go play football at Florida State, but I decided to join the Army instead. And you're kind of similar, except that you actually could have went out of high school. You were an unbelievable track star, legit athlete, could have went to college on a scholarship, but you joined the Marines instead. Why?
Right. So I did. The reason why I joined was because like my family was going through a lot of shifts at the time. My mom was, I got this noise thing on. My family was going through a lot of shifts at the time. My mom was going through pretty much our family situation. My mom was getting divorced from my stepdad, and it was like a decision of like, okay, I'm graduating now. And I did ROTC for 4 years in high school. And as soon as if I do military, I'll at least be a rank ahead of everyone else. Mm-hmm. And then also if I do go to school, I'd be close to home. But at the same time, don't really know what's going to happen for a situation. So the best thing I did was I moved my mom back to Chicago with my grandfather. And then I went straight to the military right after that. And I feel like that was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's very admirable. There's not many people out there who at the age of 17, 18 are tasked with taking charge of the family the way you did. So I think that's super admirable. Did you feel like an added weight on your shoulders? You're like, damn, I'm 17, I'm 18, however old you were at the time. You're like, I just want to have fun, maybe go to college, but you had other things to concern yourself with.
No, and also too, it for me, it was like a win-win situation. Granted, running was my passion, still my passion, but at the same time, I always felt like peace of mind, making sure my family was always good. And I feel like not only making sure they're good, but also the military can it's 2 for 1. As you know, you go to the military, you can also use a GI Bill, which I did, to go to school. Okay. So it's hey, that's the better option to do, So I may not be able to go to school immediately and have fun and be free, but at least I'll have some type of foundation and, something I can obviously fall back on,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to have that perspective to look beyond just those immediate 4 years and look down the road 40 years is a perspective that seems to me made you mature beyond your years. So that's pretty impressive. And why did you choose the Marines as opposed to the Army, Navy, Air Force? Well,
Marines, they're the top of the line, as they would say. No, it was just so crazy part about it is I always heard Marines obviously the hard charges, they're the top of the line, first to fight and everything. But what really got me drawn was the actual uniform. Blue uniforms. Mm-hmm. And me, I love suits. I love being detailed out. But I just I don't know what it was, but the dress blue uniforms, that just really drawn to me. I used to see commercials where the silent drill team will be doing the drills and everything. I'm like, God dang, them motherfuckers sharp. So, but that's one of the. It may be awkward in a sense, but that's one of the things that actually draw me in. Just the actual uniforms is clean, crisp.
Yeah. No, I get it. I was in the Army, and I tell my 2 co-hosts and our producer, the 3 of them were all Marines, and I always tell them I will give it to them that the Marines have the best dress uniforms. You all look the most clean for sure. So I understand that decision and that reasoning. What did you do when you were in the Marines?
So I was stationed in 1st Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion. So shout out to the Highlanders. And as I went into boot camp, I went in as an option. My MOS just kept going back and forth. And I ended up getting the B5 manager option. So I got stationed in first LAR to do all of the DTS for those Marines. So that's back when I think DTS first started back in 2000, around 2008, 2009 time frame, because that's when I got stationed in first LAR, March of 2009. And I remember that when I first got there, I was there with Sergeant Herrera. Gosh, man, it's taking me back. Sergeant Herrera, and pretty much I was on a infantry battalion, but I was doing DTS. So like basically when I first got there, I was in the barracks. I was in the, doing the, PT in the morning, doing everything they was doing in the morning, the same training they were doing in the morning. And then I would go do DTS and then come back. And then eventually they realized, it's like, hey man, like you've been us for a while, man. Like, you sure you're supposed to be in this state? I'm like, yeah, I'm just stationed here, in this unit, but that's just what protocol was for that area. So it was cool, man. I did that for stationed there from March 2009 and all the way up into September of 2012. So yeah.
Okay, and then you knew the Marines were just going to be a short stint, or did you go in thinking I'm going to check this out? Maybe I'll stick around for more than one enlistment, or you knew it was one enlistment and I'm going to get back to my family?
You know what? That's a good question. I never got asked that before. When I always felt like it was always a good foundation to have, and I always want to say, okay, I try the first 4 years, and if all goes well, if I don't have a decision in what I want to do next, then I need to re-enlist. And that was like one of the main things I was saying, like, hey, like, don't just, just like take advantage of like every single thing that is offering to you. It offers you so much, and I just remember that's one of the things I was going like, hey, like take it all in. And if I don't know what I want to be doing, like when it comes to MOS wise, if the MOSs are filled up, if I don't have a decision, then like if you come into that crossword where you don't have your next move, I have to re-enlist because they take care of you,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And it's a very stable lifestyle, although,
Yes.
it's not the most ideal at times, but it is.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's not for everyone, it's not, and that's okay. Everything isn't for everyone. But I will say, like, for anyone in life, like anyone that's young and just don't really understand, like really kind of want to go, or they need some type of I know it's provided me a lifetime amount of structure just to focus on like the task at hand in life now too. So
Okay. So
yeah.
you're transitioning, you decide, all right, I'm going to get out of the military. Did you know right away what you wanted to do? Because we talk so much about one of the hardest things to do is to transition, because the military world is there's some crossover, there's definitely transferable skills, but it's just two completely different worlds. So oftentimes people getting out of the military have such a hard time making that transition. So what was that like for you?
Yeah, and that's crazy because like it was a hard transition because I was 22 and I was 22 and I was like, God, man, like I'm still young. It's still things I do want to try out, and then you get to that point of where like you feel like, hey, there's certain things that I can do while I'm in the military, but certain things I can't do. So then you come to that crossroads of like, man, like, like I gotta, like there is a difficult transition. Cause I remember when I was doing TAPS, and TAPS, they provide everything. Shout out to TAPS too. TAPS, they teach you how to build a resume and, how to send out job applications and how to sign up on the websites to make sure, because that's how I got, if we get further into it, that's how I got my contracting job as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not too much longer after I did transition out of the military. But that first year I got out, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. Ended up moving to North Carolina and working for a job where I pretty much worked 12-hour shifts, packaging plastic.
Wow.
Did that for a while. And then eventually just went to schooling for a little bit. There was a couple of universities that was in the Charlotte area that I went to, trying to use my GI Bill, start getting credits in my criminal justice, and pretty much just adding, trying to figure out what I was trying to do. But at the same time, as you know, like, you don't have that, those holidays off or anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have those leave and liberty times that you granted. And obviously the money in most cases, it doesn't come as consistent or as much either. So I think like, yeah, it's a steady transition, but like, I think what helped me too was the fact that, you know, I was still going to school and adding something more, and just like I said, apply my jobs on that website, because that's how I got the contracting job eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that job in about 2013, late 14, got out from military, went to Charlotte, then got the job and moved back to San Diego, California, and then worked at the Coronado base, in Amphibious base in Coronado, and worked that job for about a year and a half, and that's when I got to the WWE. So
okay, so but you don't just like, you know, walk up to Mr. McMahon's door and knock and say, hey, I want to be in the WWE. You were obviously a very talented athlete.
yeah,
Presumably you loved your time doing McMap. You were wrestling growing up as a kid. How, like I said, you don't just walk up to his door and say, hey, I want to be in WWE. How did that all come about?
So my WWE transition took about 2 tryouts, because as I told you, when I got the job in Coronado, that's when I was going through my first tryout with WWE and my second tryout with WWE. I got the first tryout as I was moving from from North Carolina when I was out of the military to San Diego. And then I did the second tryout when I was in San Diego after I got the contracting job. So it's been like maybe a year and a half, almost 2-year process just to get into the WWE. Because I did the second tryout, and then that was about in April of 2014, and then that's when I came in the next year.
And what happened with the first tryout that they just didn't take you?
So the first tryout, they said, hey, he speaks very well, but, you know, he needs to put on a little weight. So I was about maybe I think I was about right at 200 pounds at that first tryout. And then the second tryout, which was pretty much the next September, I walked in about 250 pounds.
Whoa. My man. Yo, you don't just put on 50 pounds by accident. That's intense, dude. Wow.
So I took it to heart. I took it to heart.
I don't have enough weight. I'll show you.
Yeah, I said, you know what? I guarantee you this next trial, they're gonna be like, all right.
Oh man, that's awesome. So all right, so then you're in the WWE, and was this a dream of yours growing up? Like, were you always a big wrestling fan, or you know, how did it kind of work?
Yeah, it was absolutely like I watched. One of the first things I remember seeing was back in '99, and it was The Godfather. And I remember he was walking out, and he had his whole entourage, and I was like, and it was like this. The wrestling atmosphere, that's like the number one thing that attracts anybody, and that's what got me. Like just seeing him walk down this aisle, and it's like 20,000 people like screaming at the fact, you know, this is all going on. I'm like, what is this? And then from that day on, I just took off from there. And like I remember even like when 2000 was having the Doomsday Countdown, and the wrestling was like showing. Like I remember like going into 2000 watching wrestling. So yeah, I've been watching it for like, man, like now I think about it, over 20 years now. So when I first, WWE had a recruit website that's how I was actually able to get my information. And like back then you could submit your information, your videos and your pictures, and then they'll give you a call. So like submitted the stuff, and they gave me an email, and I was like, whoa, what the, you know, just losing my mind. So did the first trial, and that was the first trial I was telling you about, where, you know, hey, you know, speaks well, but, you know, need to put on some weight. And then I remember coming back and just going on like this really, really not really strict, but just pounding massive amounts of like food, and like making sure I gained the weight. And it wasn't all good weight, because I put some burgers and some pizza and some bacon, egg, and cheeseburgers in there. So like it wasn't all like good weight, but
50 pounds doesn't come easy.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily come clean too. So it's like I just remember like when that, you know, first trial happened, and going like, you know, constantly in contact with the individuals that was helping me make sure I get set up for, you know, the second trial, and just showing them like updates and me gaining weight, and just me putting on massive amounts of pounds. And then finally did the second trial, and gas to the gills because I was so tired, just blown.
Yep.
Just blown sky high, just from so much weight. And I remember like everything going well and like just it being like a sense of relief, man. Like, because like obviously with the transition from coming out of the military and going from a very, very consistent base environment to now, like you're grown now, you have to figure it out. Like you got your own time schedule. You got to do this now. You gotta eat pieces and burgers to gain 50 pounds some kind of way,
Yeah, but you got that discipline from the Marines, presumably.
Exactly.
To where you knew how to take care of yourself. You know what? I have this goal and it's on me to get to that goal. So I got the discipline to get there.
Yes. And that's one of the main things I thank God for is I feel like that was the best decision I ever make. Just going to the military because it establishes so much like discipline and tact and I'm going over 13 leadership traits. Look at me. Just so much like foundations that can help you just advance in life and anything you try to do.
Right.
And just thank God for it. So
yeah. And I mean, you're not the only veteran in the WWE. There's a handful. Are you all on like a group text and you guys chat and keep in touch with one another? Y'all friends, or how's that work?
Yeah, most of the time we do, but most of the time it's us talking to each other about each other's football teams not doing so well.
Okay. Who's your squad? Who's your squad?
The Bears, man.
Oh, that's right. You're a Chicago guy. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. I didn't mean to ask that.
It's okay. Just brought back a flashback, man.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but like, being one of the handful of veterans in the WWE, I know like at Barstool, there's a few of us veterans and when certain things happen, they will come to us and say like, well, what do you guys think about this topic based on the fact that you're a veteran and you serve the country? So when you think about like, what happened this summer and most recently what happened yesterday, do you have your peers within the WWE leaning on you to get your opinion based on your experiences?
No, I don't think so necessarily because because of like the faith and pretty much like the way I present myself, like I don't really like make it seem like my opinion is like the most important opinion over anyone else's. And like the way I was raised and the way my mom raised me and the way like we was upbringing, like everyone's going to have a difference of opinion. And it doesn't necessarily mean like whoever has a different opinion is wrong. It's just a different, viewpoint. But no, I do like to see the fact that, everyone has a different opinion and like everyone has different upbringings. Like, and it's just one of those things where like, I don't think they necessarily lean on me and maybe they do and I don't realize it, but I think the best thing that I can do is whatever my viewpoints and my opinions are, I have to like present them because like I can say whatever I want, but if I don't present myself that way, it doesn't matter what I say because like actions speak quadruple million more volumes than words. So,
well, on even a bigger scale for the fans, do you have a sense of responsibility being a veteran? Because every time your name is mentioned, presumably it's always mentioned, Marine, along with all of your accolades that you've achieved in the WWE. So do you feel that sense of responsibility to represent the Marine Corps?
I think not only just myself as a person and like, but everything like I've been attached to, like it, like as you all know, if something happens, like they're gonna usually, attribute to like, the background. So like we do have a sense of responsibility of like, like, wow, he's got a military background. And if I'm out there, doing cartwheels butt naked, doing a scene, that's not a good way to like present myself. Cause like, some people still to this day look at certain positions as like very, very high regard, especially, the individuals that's, defending the country. So like, yeah, we have a huge, responsibility and like, as they would say, not showing our ass.
Yeah. But then now you have this other huge platform where you feel the need to represent that well. And I appreciate that. And I think that's fantastic. And you're setting a great example for your children and for the fans that it is important to present yourself in a manner of respect, even though you are in entertainment. type environment. Speaking of that, what has it been like the past, I don't know, 9 months or so wrestling during this pandemic with no fans and just the protocols you've had to deal with now, altering what life is like in the WWE?
So thank God, I'm really appreciative of my job and company that, they've created a very safe environment for us to still put on a live show every single week for these fans. And I just think like it's a different time because obviously, our whole thing is, interacting with, the fans. So the biggest responsibility, as you say, like earlier, is like us just still giving everyone that's still watching the same energy we have, like as if they were there. And like that gets difficult sometimes because sometimes like it's kind of like, like you shooting your first target and like you turn to the side and you like looking for like, some type of validation of like
reaction.
How good you did, and like nobody's there. So it kind of like it makes you miss the interaction, but it doesn't stop us from doing like exactly what we're supposed to do because like we know if we don't bring it, like this might be the only time people see like some type of like positivity in their day frame. So like like with us, it's a huge responsibility to like I know like the world is going through like its trials and tribulations, but you got the privilege and responsibility of like giving them something to escape from, on whatever they're going through. So I thank God we was in that position to do it. So hopefully we carried everyone through these, troubling times.
No, I think that's awesome to look at it through that lens and realizing that you can bring, however long a sliver of joy in somebody's life and in that entertainment. I think that really is so positive. And I think that's so important that everyone remains positive during this time. So what's next for you in the WWE then?
So what's next obviously is getting the WWE Tag Team Championships back. Just how much that meant to me and Docs, because as you said, like, we pretty much had our entire reign during this period. So like we won the Tag Team Championships in like one of the last two events before, COVID happened. And I know like that's one of the things where when it happened, me and Docs was just on this like thing of like, hey, you know what? We gonna be champions for these individuals this time. We gonna make sure like we get them something to look forward to, and we gonna be their tag team champions. So like I know how much it meant to us just in that time period. So we're gonna get these titles back. And then also just like everything we talked about today, just continuing being a good example, man. Like just trying to be something positive, like it's the main things we can like find wrong, but like let's just start putting some good out there, and I think that's what we're just trying to do, put some good out there, put some good energy, good vibes, and just be thankful that we talking to each other right now, man.
Yep. Just put some good out there. That's a good message right there. Just put some good out there. Everyone has it in their control, whether you have a big platform, small platform, to put some good out there.
I can put some bad out there. I can get some milk and put some bad out there right now, if you know what I mean. Lactose. So,
exactly. All right, Montez, I'm gonna finish up with two quick questions and then I'm gonna let you get out of here. So growing up, who were your idols growing up in wrestling, and then who are your peers now in the wrestling world?
Gosh, man, growing up, man, like,
because there were a lot. I mean, we're roughly the same age. You're a little bit younger than me, but there were a lot of
my list. Let me get my list.
Wow.
Man, growing up, I would say The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Mankind, Booker T, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Edge, Christian, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys. I grew up in that whole like that whole like
that was a great era. It was a great era.
That's when because 99 was when I first started like watching it. Like that's like everyone from that era, and like just Brock Lesnar, like just everybody when the whole invasion happened. And that's like when I was watching, like the way I brought up in it. So like those were like every single person from that Rhino. Everyone's from that entire era, like, has like shaped me to be like this wild thing that you see on TV all the time. So like, and like that's my childhood. That's where I grew up. Yeah, like all my idols. But I do remember like specifically like always going to the lunchrooms and like thinking it was 20,000 people watching. Thinking I was the Rock. I'll step out to the left side, see who over there, check who over there, be like, all right, and then check this side and see what's over there. All right, and let's go get these cookies.
With a fury not known to man, let me get these cookies. Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous. And like, I mean, well, actually, speaking of the Rock, like, do you have aspirations beyond the WWE? I mean, you see so many of these people who transition from the WWE into other forms of entertainment. Do you have any aspirations?
Like I love like, like any type of opportunity that comes anyone's way, they're going to obviously take it. But my thing is like, I just want to like make as well, like with those opportunities coming, keep putting WWE on the map, like letting them know like, hey, this is, if I get those opportunities, hey, this is Montez Ford from the WWE. So it continues to put like WWE on the map to like let like everyone in the entertainment industry know, like, granted, we're wrestlers and like professional entertainers and, sports entertainers in the ring, but like it's so much more talent and stuff that a lot of people can do too. So, and it can put WWE even more on the map, So yeah.
Awesome. And then who are some of your peers right now, currently in the WWE, who you really admire?
Like,
and they're all going to listen, so make sure you say the right names.
Yeah. I generally try my best to go up to everyone. Like, no matter like what happens, I try my best to go up to anyone, especially people that's been there and has been doing it for a while. Obviously Booker T, The New Day, even going up to like some of the like even people like Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode, Samoa Joe, who else is it? Cesaro, Daniel Bryan. I'm just trying to think right off the top of the head. It's just so much. Like Sami Zayn, Jesus. It's just Apollo Crews, Ricochet. Just people that have been doing. Because I haven't been. I when I first went to Performance Center, it was my first time actually doing wrestling because I didn't do independent scene. So I always talk to pretty much everyone because like they all like have been doing it longer than me. So if they also going to have a different viewpoint from me. So like pretty much like those, and I hope I didn't miss anybody, but
all right. Very last question here. Very last question. What is your favorite military movie of all time?
Oh, man.
You didn't think I was going to put you on the spot like that?
Gosh, man, there's so many, dude.
It's got to be one that comes right to mind. What is it?
Black Hawk Down.
Okay. The answer we were looking for was Major Payne, but Black Hawk Down is also a good one.
I didn't say it, but I knew it was going to be Major Payne, so I said, let me throw them off. Let me say Black Hawk.
No, I like that one too. All right. Hey, Montez.
That's a hard question. That's a lot.
It is. There's a lot of good ones.
Man, depends on how you want to feel.
True. You want to laugh? You want to cry? You want to feel something? You want nightmares? Yeah. All right. Yeah. True. All right. Well, hey. Yeah, exactly. You want to get fired up for the match? All right. Let's go. Take, fix bayonets and we were soldiers. I got you. All right. I understand. All right. Well, hey, Montez, thank you so much. I seriously, I respect the heck out of your viewpoint just on life, on the way you're approaching your career in the WWE, the way you're representing the military and the Marine Corps. I think it is just all fantastic. Being a good father, you're just doing it all right. So thank you so much for joining us. And I wish you nothing but success in the future going forward with the WWE and beyond. Thank you.
So much, man. God bless you. Thank you. And Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to you too. Awesome. So thank you to Montez for joining us. As you heard, just a sweet, delightful guy. Obviously, he's got a great career going in WWE, positive outlook on life. And I really respect the fact that he realized his dream.
Yeah, it's nice that he was trying to keep us safe, just like Simply Safe is. Everybody wants to keep their home safe, including their family, whether it's from I got to do it, break-in, a fire, flooding, or emergency. Simply Safe Home Security delivers award-winning 24/7 protection. With Simply Safe, you don't just get an arsenal of cameras and sensors, you get the best professional monitors in the business. They've got your back day and night, ready to send police, Kate's beloved fire, or EMTs when you need them most straight to your door. Simply Safe has an arsenal of sensors and cameras that protect each inch of your home. You get it set up for yourself in about 30 minutes. It's super easy. Then Simply Safe's professionals take over the monitoring of your home 24/7 and are ready to send help at a moment's notice. Plus, Simply Safe, there's no contract, no hidden fees, or installation cost. Right now, our listeners get a free home security camera when you purchase Simply Safe system at simplysafe.com/ZBT. You'll get 60-day risk-free trial, so there's nothing to lose. Visit simplysafe.com/ZBT for your free security camera today. That's simplysafe.com/ZBT. All right, round number 5, a little safety brief going. Kate, you were concerned about people using mushrooms in their penis, right?
Well, not in their penis. I don't know where the hell you got that part from.
Oh, that's what I thought you meant by veins.
Oh, no, but there is veins in the penis. Absolutely.
True.
You're not wrong. There's, especially from my drawings, 2 very large ones that squiggle off at the end.
Yep.
Important to
like
note.
the mighty Mississippi.
Like the mighty Mississippi. Absolutely. So I feel like troops, when they want to do drugs,
He's got a dick vein like the mighty Mississippi.
Like the Delta itself, spreading out across the head of. I feel like troops, when they want to do drugs, they're gonna find a way to do it, and they will MacGyver ways that they won't get caught. We were talking about troops recently. There's been a spat of troops doing LSD and stuff like that and psychedelics, because normally that's not tested for unless there's like a reason. So when I saw this story, this doesn't really involve the troops. When I saw this story, I could see a troop maybe a dabbling. So this is like a little safety brief. A man experienced organ failure after turning psychedelic mushrooms into tea that he then injected into his veins. According to a case report in the Journal of the Academy of the Consultation Liaison Psychiatry, the 30-year-old man's family brought him to a Nebraska emergency room after they noticed he seemed confused. And so when people normally want to take psychedelic mushrooms, you either just eat them as is, they taste like feet, to be honest, or you put them in a powder into a little capsule or a tea, and then you swallow it that way. The man in the case study boiled the mushrooms in water, filtered the liquid through a cotton swab, and then injected it with a needle into his bloodstream. A couple days later, he started to become tired, vomited blood, and developed jaundice, diarrhea, and nausea. His family found him and took him to the hospital. When the doctors met the man, he couldn't give any coherent answers. They found that he had liver injury, his kidneys weren't functioning properly, and he had started to go into organ failure. Why? What thrives in a dark, wet, murky, pretty oxygen-free environment?
Well, I would say because this is about mushrooms.
That's right, my friends. Mushrooms. They thrive in dark places, and they began to grow in the man's bloodstream.
I got mushroom blood.
He's got mushrooms and fungus growing inside his bloodstream, causing.
Help me out, Ma. I got the case of the mushroom bloods.
I got mush blood. He needed to be put on a ventilator to breathe.
You keep that son of a bitch chaps out of my coffin.
He needed to be put on a ventilator to breathe and had to get his blood filtered for toxins. He was in the hospital for 22 days on antibiotics and antifungal treatment. You think antifungal treatment's gross on like a foot. Imagine your body.
That's actually what he used. He just used a little Gold Bond powder and sprinkled it in his blood.
Yeah, now inject the Gold Bond and put that in there. But he's going to have to take that for a long time.
At the very least, he needs to inject some balsamic vinaigrette.
Yeah. So whatever you do, don't do that. Over the last several years, studies have shown that the psilocybin found in magic mushrooms can help ease the pain of depression and cope in small specific doses in combo with
I like how these medical people are acting like that's groundbreaking. Like, so if you're feeling sad, we're going to give you something that completely changes your mental state and makes you hallucinate. Yeah. Oh, that made me feel better because I'm not thinking about shit. No shit.
Yeah, no shit. But if you take it the right way, blah, 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 like Johns Hopkins has been like 4 times larger than clinical trials normally, the magnitude of the effect that we saw in helping people, blah, blah, blah. So people taking them in small doses in pills are called microdosing, where you don't even trip or anything like that, but they say it like helps, whatever. But this was a little bit.
The Marine Corps actually did a study on that too, where they said it helps. That and LSD.
Yeah. Yep. And it helps people process and taken with like a therapist. If you take some and you go over events of like a deployment or blah, 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 it helps you see things from new perspectives, who knows, whatever. But don't inject it this weekend. If you're sitting in the barracks and you're a little bored, if you're stuck in the Capitol in a cuddle puddle and you're looking for something fun to do, don't inject fungus directly into your bloodstream.
Or you know what? Just don't do drugs, period. That's an option too.
Relax. Yeah.
Get out. Man. Okay, grandma. Okay, what are we gonna not do drugs?
Just don't do crazy drugs. I support you if you want to do a little bit of weed. If you want to dabble in nose beers from time to time, I'm fine with that. I don't want to hear any of the baby girls doing meth.
No, we don't. Baby girls don't do that.
Baby girls stay away from meth and crocodile.
Can I say I've asked my baby daddy if once a year for 1 week, I get to leave him with the baby and I get to go to a festival somewhere and do all the drugs.
No,
I think that's fine.
I think it's fine.
I'm not going to tell you how to I'm not going to tell you how to raise your kid, but I don't know. I also don't have children, so
I don't think she's going to say the baby's going to go to the festival.
No, just 1 week a year. No. Maybe I go to Burning Man, I trip balls for a week and do a little Molly.
I think it'd be more fun because once you get out there, Burning Man, all those people with their stinky 6 million sweat glands or whatever the fuck they have, I'd much rather go to a nice little cabin in Montana and then start doing a little LSD goofing out there, maybe catch some northern lights.
Oh, that's not a bad plan. Either way, I'm taking a week off every year. That's the plan. So call CPS.
That's bold. No, Kate, please don't. Breaking news. Kate plans on taking a 1 week vacation while she's in her 30s with a good full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. Let's move on to save rounds and alibis to see what else that crazy Kate has in store. But Kyle, we'll start with you. What do you got?
I don't really know what to say. Social media has been.
I'm going to get insane and take a vacation for 7 days. It's going to be wild.
Okay. All right.
She's going to have tons of ice.
Might even go 8 days. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, you know who needs a vacation? Our social media guy, Kyle, after dealing with all the bullshit this week. Kyle, what's on your mind?
I just wish people would shut the fuck up. Like not just all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, we posted the Joint Chiefs letter, and wouldn't you know it, we're just a bunch of lib cucks. Especially,
no.
I mean, it was just exhausting. But the good news is a lot of new restricted accounts to scream into the vacuum of Instagram because no one's gonna see your dumb bullshit anymore, Mr. Fuckface. I'm a little jaded.
But you know what's so interesting about the Joint Chiefs coming out with that memo is the misconception out there is that everybody in the military thinks the same way. Everyone in the military is a conservative Republican. Everyone in the military hates the same things, likes the same things, when in fact, that's not anywhere near the case. So I can't believe it blew some people away that the Joint Chiefs came out with this statement. Some people were like, wait, what?
Even I'm sure some of those Joint Chiefs are conservative Republicans, but you just have to be an idiot to disagree with what they said. You just have to be a moron to look at what happened. You could be extremely conservative.
It's not like they said anything outrageous.
And if you look at what happened on the Hill and you're like, that was good, you're a fucking moron. That's all.
Yeah, it's not like they came out and they were like, we actually endorsed Planned Parenthood as the Joint Chiefs. Like, they didn't take like this really liberal stance. Yeah. We actually defend the Constitution, not any person. Like, I mean, well, yeah.
Whoa. Holy
True.
shit. But
It's true.
other than that, social Twitter hasn't been bad, but Instagram, God fucking damn it. Other than that, I want to send T's and P's to you National Guardsmen. Just, moseying around the Capitol. It's pretty shitty. Like, no one really wants to be there, I feel like. And now you have to stand there and listen to some goddamn elected representative that doesn't even care who you are talk to you for 20 minutes when you'd rather just be, I don't know, throwing rocks at bust of George Washington or something.
Mhm.
Just playing games. So really, like, I know we make fun
Somebody's
of the
gonna
National Guard.
steal a statue. No
Oh
doubt.
man.
Yeah.
That
But
same podium from Pelosi's
Yeah.
office is going to be moving again.
Gonna be in somebody's barracks room.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sweet, though. Where the fuck did you get this, Private? I don't know, guys.
These are krypton.
Well, Gear Drift is a gift zone.
Where do
Kate?
you find this classified hard drive?
Me, first of all, back to Kyle. Thank you for agreeing with me on Twitter last night that all chili is bad.
Yes. Yep.
If
That's
it's
And I
not
took it a
even
step
true.
further. I took it a step further. Soup, bad. I
you're
mean,
wrong.
just-
Don't ruin
no,
it for
yeah,
me, Kyle.
yeah, and stew. Fuck stew.
Okay.
The name
Well,
and no, not stew finer. Fuck stew is a meal. Fuck stew. It's
Wow,
disgusting.
you took
I
it too
love
far,
stew. I
Kyle.
love
But
chili.
thank,
I love soup. I
The
love
meat-
all
hey,
those
listen,
things.
Chaps,
worst
I'm with
meat
you, pal.
possible.
I'm with you. My guess is
guys.
these two
You
have just
guys.
never had a good stew or a good chili in their
45
life.
degrees outside. You can have some chili or
Oh,
some stew.
nope.
No.
I don't
Buddy,
care if it's
no.
cold
Buddy.
out.
No, you're outside at a tailgate and you get a warm belly of chili. Come
You're
on,
just-
there's
You're
nothing
just
better.
out digging
Mhm.
into graves looking for some new jewelry, and you're just filling your belly up with
It'll give me
chili
plenty of
and
energy to
stew.
last
The
well into the
thought
night.
of both cons and chaps with chili in their bellies makes
Ah,
me everywhere.
Getting the
Also-
meat
good
sweats.
farting fuel.
And then people were like, I'm from Iowa. We put peanut butter and we dunk ours in cinnamon rolls.
That was
Cinnamon rolls
odd.
in our
I'll say
chili.
that was
Yeah, I've
odd.
heard that before about Iowa. Also, Iowa people put cheddar cheese on top of their apple pie.
It's just the whole thing is
That's odd.
completely fucked. I'm over chili. If you like chili, you're wrong. Also, on a more important note, rest in peace to Dorothy Cole, the oldest living Marine who passed away at age 107 this week. She enlisted as one of the earliest women reservists in 1941 after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. At only 4'11", they called her half pint. Women at the time, women were designated for clerical duties only, but hoping to persuade the Marine Corps to let her fly, she, on her own accord, went off and took private flying lessons, logged over 200 hours in the cockpit of a Piper Cub, and earned her private license, came back to the Marine Corps and was like,
What the
can I
heck?
fly? Of course they said no, but it shows you what kind of person she was. Just the exact kind of person you want in the Marine Corps, a go-getter,
I
somebody
should
who
make a
took-
movie about her. That would be wonderful.
Awesome. Dorothy
It's just-
Cole, rest in peace.
Just coming back to the Marines, they're like, nah. Like, good for
I
you.
missed
but
out on a good
nah.
one. I missed out on a good one. Cons, what about you?
So our colleague Daniela, who is Erica Nardini's EA, she has a buddy, Sean Gallagher, who is a Marine who is going to do a ruck to raise money for small businesses. So I tweeted that out. If you want to help him out and support Sean as he does his ruck to raise money for small businesses. And then two quick things. Well, one is for me and then one is for you, chaps. Number one, shout out to me. I'm a man of principle, okay? I sat on the phone between Chase and JetBlue for 5.5 hours with customer service on Monday, all to get $272 worth of a flight back out of principle. And
Mhm.
most people wouldn't do that. And I'm going to pat myself on the back that I was willing to do that and go to that length. I will never succumb to time. I will
Kate's
always
just-
just stick it out.
Kate's just staring at you with her glass full of ice, wondering where things went south for Fancy Boy Cons. He's got to stay on the phone for $200.
It's not the money, Kyle. It's not the money. It's the principle. And then lastly, chaps, your thoughts, Urban Meyer.
I like it. I mean, I think if we didn't have a generational type of quarterback coming in, that fits really what Urban does in his offense, and we didn't have the wide receivers already. I mean, but we do. We have both of those things coming in, and I think he'll be a good fit there. And people in the Jacksonville area love him. And
clearly, yeah.
Like if you go to any of these games if the vaccine works out, people can actually go to NFL games next season. I think it'll be one of the most electric, if not, it'll easily be the most anticipated start that we've had in Jacksonville since the team actually started. I'm super pumped about it because I think that with their skill position guys are good. Like people look at Jacksonville and think that they're a long ways away. I watch every single game, know the team inside and out. They're not far away. They're like, there's not very many teams that you could say they're a quarterback away. It really reminds me of when Tebow left Colorado and Peyton came in. The jump that the team took was huge. I think it could be the same type of thing in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I don't like Urban Meyer as a person.
I don't either. His wife is a Looney Tune.
Yeah. But then beyond that, it'll be very interesting to see how he transitions to the league because coaching college kids is very different than coaching professional athletes. So we will have to wait and see how that is. Kate, who is Urban Meyer?
Oh, don't get me started, honey. Who is Urban Meyer? Bad guy.
That's right. Right, that's all I got.
Nailed it.
So I'm actually really excited. It's the first time I've been excited about the Jags in a while since they actually went deep in the playoffs in 2017. But I'm pumped for what's ahead there. I don't really have any save rounds. I feel bad for the people in the National Guard that are doing it, but also I don't, because this is something that they're going to look back on later on in their life and be like, I was there at the Capitol when this was going on. This will be a story that they tell in 30, 40 years to their grandkids, and their grandkids will be like, holy shit, my grandma or grandpa was defending the Capitol when all this crazy shit was going down. Because imagine what it'll be. I mean, I don't think people will know the details, just like most in our generation don't know the details of what happened with Nixon, but you're going to know that it was bad.
Speaking of that, so there are so many movies that are amazing that sometimes just slip through the cracks and you just never see. You always hear that they're great movies and you just never see him. One of those movies for me was All the President's Men, and I'm almost done with it, but I just started watching it with Robert Redford, and man, is he a handsome fella.
Is that a series or is it a
No, All the President's Men is Robert Redford and what's his face?
But is it a movie or a series?
Movie. It's a movie from the 70s, Woodward and Bernstein, about uncovering Watergate.
Deep Throat.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That's all I really have to say. Laviska Shenault, the guy that they drafted from Colorado last year, the wide receiver, he's going to be in the Percy Harvin role. And I think he's going to fucking destroy people in that role.
Well, I hope for your sake they do, because there's nothing worse than rooting for just an abysmal franchise.
Shots fired.
Are
at
you
Army
guys
football.
still talking
about Whoa. Actually, Army football is in Fox Sports' too early top 25 at number 19. So we got a good team coming back. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do we play again this year? Does UTSA and Army play again?
Don't know. Army football upcoming schedules.
Well, he gets that. I feel like Chaps was getting set up for heartbreak. I feel bad already. Like if something happens.
Oh, I'm okay. I don't mind heartbreak as long as I have hope. This year I didn't have hope at the beginning of the season, and that's worse. I can accept heartbreak. I can't accept just knowing that shit's gonna come, and it comes.
Chaps, we are back playing each other in 2022.
Okay, taking a year break. That's good because things were getting heated between that rivalry that's budding. All right, we'll see everybody next week. Have a good weekend. Sound the retreat.